So this is one of my zone 5 areas. So I decided to use the corners of my block, so I'm not wasting any land. Every bit of land I have, I want to try and use as much of. Unfortunately, there is a fire break. And in Australia, if you are in a high fire zone area like myself, then you will need to have a fire break around your property. And it's just to let the fireys in so they can fight a fire on your property if need be. So I can't grow anything too big because it can't be more than the fire truck anyway. And I don't want it to prevent the fireys doing their job, especially in a case of a bushfire, and it will spread very quickly around here. I mean, this is my property next door, and it hasn't been cleared, and that there during summer, whoosh, great fuel for a fire. So I decided to do this particular area first, and that's because it was already cleared, and I thought I'll try different techniques in different areas to see which one works better for my property, for my climate. So I ended up doing this one. Now, this was done about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and a lot of it's been grown over. So, and I've also now decided to change it. So I want to put gravel instead of mulch down, and that's hopefully to help prevent the spread of fire from property to property. But at the end of the day, a fire is going to get through it one way or another. So I'll give you a quick tour of my corner zone 5A. So here I have dogbane, and dogbane can be, I believe, a little bit poisonous. So it's not something that you can really ingest, and I believe that the Native Americans used it as a laxative. I can understand why, but mainly because these are beautiful flowers, but also I wanted a plant that would help deter ticks from my property. And what this plant is, that kangaroos don't like this plant, and since kangaroos carry ticks, I was kind of hoping that this would deter them, but you will see that I have a couple of kangaroos living here on my property a little bit later. Now, like I said, a lot of it's been grown over, but here I've got rue, and rue is a great herb to have, especially for toothaches and headaches and that kind of stuff. But also, it's also good to repel kangaroos coming onto your property. Unfortunately, these guys aren't doing a very good job. Never mind. And then over here, this one geranium I want, or a pelargonium, I think it is. And it's a form of geranium, and it grows into a beautiful bush and with beautiful hot pink flowers. Unfortunately, the summer was quite dry and it had suffered a little bit, along with my tea tree. Unfortunately, this little guy did not suffer the summer well. So I'm kind of hoping it will grow back after winter. If not, I'm going to have to call it quits on this one and say it's dead. And over here, this is my bottle brush tree. Again, it's not doing so well. Like I said, it did have a hard summer. But this one is not your typical red bottle brush. This is a pink one. So hopefully it will bounce back lively during winter, and it will flower beautiful flowers. And then down here, I have the sea salt daisy, sea salt daisy, and it's a beautiful bush that gives out this beautiful mixture of pink and white daisies. I just thought it was really pretty, and it's just really phenomenal in this kind of area as well. Surprisingly, this one has survived many summers. I don't know how, but it has, with very minimal water. And then over here, I have my lemongrass, which again is looking a bit sorry for itself at the moment. Lemongrass is a great antifungal, antiseptic, and all those good stuff. A lot of I like to put them in lemongrass into my cooking, especially if I'm doing like some Asian cooking. It just brings out a beautiful flavour. Like I said, it's not doing so well there though. So potentially what I wanted to do was to make this here a swale and this here a swale as well. And it's not doing too badly considering we've had a bit of rain. However, I can't dig it out any deeper because if I dig too deep, then I've hit limestone. So I need to build up. First of all, I need to get rid of all this geranium that is hanging around and come back with a bit of gravel. So this here is another corner of my property, and I've tried something different in this way as well. I still have like the swales put in there, but I've also tried this clay pot thing. And what it is, clay pots are porous, so you fill it up and it just generally like releases a little bit of water throughout the day. Now with that, it actually did really well, I think, because none of my plants are dead. And this one here just doesn't evaporate at all. So I think the clay pot thing actually does work, especially in the areas where I can't get water to it at the moment. Then this happens to be really well. Again, it was a harsh summer and some of the plants and my succulents aren't doing so well. So here we go again. This is the pelargonium. Absolutely love it. So you'll find me to have it in a lot of my garden. And this here is a red bottle brush. And this one flowered last year and I was extremely excited. Beautiful bright red flowers. In the back there is a succulent and the red succulent. I thought these look absolutely fantastic once they grow and whatnot. The red one's not doing so well. Maybe it's getting too much water, I'm not too sure. And then I've got like a little bit of a jade tree here as well, another succulent. This one here, again, isn't doing so well either, but it's still alive. But this is the kind of area that I want to like get that gravel kind of look. And unfortunately, the grass is is growing through, but that's okay. Gives me something else to work at later on. And in the outside of the fence is a crown of thorns. I also have another jade. This one won't flower, but it does grow up to be a nice, big, beautiful bush. So this is along my fence line. And I also have another jade plant here. This is a cutting from my mum's plant. I've got a geranium, and this one here will hopefully grow beautiful, sharp red color flowers. Geraniums are good to detoxify with, hey? So if you get like a whole bunch of geranium flowers and throw them in your bath, it's a good detoxification. Over here, I've got a jasmine, tough as guts kind of jasmine as well. It is looking a bit brown, but like I said, we did have a harsh summer. Another crown of thorns. Some more crown of thorns. This is a bougainvillea. This is a bougainvillea I picked up from a swap meet, and it's not doing so bad actually here, to be fair. It's got beautiful vibrant colour flowers. The bougainvillea is also very good as well to have in your garden. If you have an upset stomach, you can make bougainvillea tea out of it and it will settle the stomach. More crown of thorns. Another bougainvillea. This is a different type. But this poor thing's been flung around in the wind. So I've had to stake it up with something a bit more stronger. And another crown of thorns in the back there. More bougainvillea. A white bougainvillea. Crown of thorns. And this fella here is like a pig face. Is a ground cover, and it can actually produce such beautiful flowers. Another geranium with hot pink flowers. Another pig face. Another bougainvillea. Another pig face. And you're probably thinking why I've got all these pig faces here. Once they grow, they can actually be quite a nice little bush. And not only that, they're good at, they're fire retardant, like they slow down like the burn of fires. Not like one little shrub every 2 meters is going to do a lot, but every little bit helps, and it's a great addition to your Australian garden. I've got yellow bougainvillea here. Another pelargonium, but this one here is a deep, deep purple. And I got this little fella from the swap meet as well. Another bougainvillea. Another geranium. I actually like this geranium because it looks like roses. Pig face. And an orange, it's supposed to be an orange bougainvillea. Pig face. Geranium. And this one here is a myrtle, crepe myrtle, and it's supposed to flower pink, real deep pink flowers. It is a deciduous, so it's lost all its leaves for winter, and hopefully it will grow back in spring. Another bougainvillea here. I love that purple, isn't it gorgeous? Another bougainvillea. I really need to train it a little bit better. And what I mean by train, I mean obviously spread out the vine so it will spread all over my fence. And another bougainvillea. This one here is another crepe myrtle. So it's losing its leaves because it's winter now. And then another bougainvillea here. In the background there is the acacia that I transplanted from my garden at my parents' house to here. So surprisingly, it's still doing okay. Over here I have bamboo and another bamboo. Bamboo, great addition again to have in your garden. Just make sure it's not one of those bamboos that spread like weeds. But it'll be good. Apparently this bamboo here, I can eat it, according to the guy that I bought it from. This one came from the swap meet. However, it doesn't seem to be doing too badly. And an ornamental aloe vera. It's about to flower. So this bird bath I absolutely love, and I've never actually seen any birds use it except for this little birdie. There were a few more birdies that were using it, but this one here didn't mind being filmed. So I'm glad that I have got a bird bath that is being used. I love that. Another geranium I transplanted. Geranium, a dead jasmine, and another jade. So over here is another one of my zones, zone 5s. And as you can see, these are similar to the plants that I had in the other corner. And the reason why I planted these kind of succulents in these areas is because I figured they didn't need too much water and that they'll survive in a dry environment. So unfortunately, kangaroos have jumped on them and have broken off some of the branches, but that's okay. But look how pretty these pink flowers are. So that's the reason why I planted that one there, because I've seen it in my parents' house and it flowers quite pretty flowers. So to continue with my zone 5, I have planted gum trees. This one here should hopefully flower beautiful flowers, but it's still quite young. Here I have another bottle brush. This one wasn't doing so well at my parents' house in the pot, so I had to bring it out, and it seems to be doing a lot better here. This one here is supposed to be a purple flower for bottle brushes, so let's hope it will flower for me next year. This here is Lovelace, and it produces little pink flowers, as you can see, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I saw it and I thought, oh, this is beautiful. I've got to get one for my garden. So this is what this is. Another gum tree. This is the native rosemary. So this one has flowered, beautiful white flowers in the springtime, but it's great to have rosemary in your garden. And surprisingly, this one survived as well. And then this beauty is my gum tree. I bought this as a seedling from, I think, Xantoria. It's a nursery in Forestfield in WA. And this thing has just grown so strong. It actually burst out of its stake that I actually planted, and it just ripped the plastic right off. So strong. And this here is wormwood. Again, I bought this wormwood in the hopes that it will help deter ticks. Yeah, didn't do much good. Ticks still around. I suppose I'm going to have to chop it off and burn it and something like that to deter the ticks, but it's such a beautiful smell, beautiful scent. And I got this grevillea, and look at it, it's just grown so much. Another gum tree. This one here will produce nice pink flowers. So the reason I got a lot of gum trees here is because these will grow hopefully to the size of about that, which to me will house a lot of birds. We bring in a lot of birds, beneficial insects, that kind of stuff into the garden, then my veggie patches will grow as well without too much disturbance from the pests. This is Korea Elba. Now I bought this little plant from, I can't remember where, but I bought it a while ago, and look at it, it's just beautiful. When I came to my block, I realized later that I have so many of these plants just growing wild in my garden that I really didn't need to go out and buy one. This here produces beautiful blue flowers. I love it. I think this plant's great. So I watched something on Jeff Lawton's YouTube with regards to having living mulch So I decided to get some ground covers and whatnot to try and bring in that forest floor look, and this just went wild. And look, once the flowers come out, they're so pretty. So I decided to plant them because they can grow like weeds. I plant them sporadically throughout this area. As you can see, there's not a lot of weeds that are growing through it, which is exactly what I wanted. Um, that grevillea that was here before died, by the way. So this didn't actually suffocate that grevillea. Just let you know, it actually died before this ground cover got to it. This here is called the firewheel tree, and I just found it quite unusual. So hopefully this will grow to be a nice big tree and house beautiful birds, as well as giving a lot of food for them as well. And here is a plant that I can't remember what it's called, but it's a tubular flower, and I wanted something to attract different types of birds and insects to my garden. So you've got to do a mixture of plants to get it to bring in the mixture of insects that you want. And this one here as well is supposed to be good for birds. So I brought these ones in to help bring the birds in. And this one here will flower beautiful purple flowers, which I think will be coming in very shortly. And another gum tree. So the whole point of me planting these gum trees in this kind of position is purely for the fact that I want like a bird alley, basically. I want birds to come in and enjoy their home on my home. So I have a lot more to do, clearly. So there's a lot of bushland here that I want to break through and plant more gum trees and other bush-like plants, but I need to break through this bush to get to continue with my zone 5. So I've got a couple of kangaroos having a great old time, having a bit of a munch. Have some dinner. So this couple, I see them a lot on my block actually. So they must live on my block, which is great. I don't want to spook them, so that's why I'm talking quietly. But these guys are just loving it. Munching just after the big storm. I love looking at these wildlife. Whoop. Love it. So as my garden progresses, I will keep you updated with all the new plants and the design and everything like that. So hopefully you enjoyed today's Zone 5, and hopefully you got a little bit more information than usual. So in true fashion, I like to end my day off with a glass of wine. So this time, let me introduce you to Yealand's. It is a Sauvignon Blanc and it's a Marlborough. And I do like my Marlboroughs. They are my favourite wines. And this one is one of my go-tos that I get from Dan Murphy's quite often. It's very tasty, very fruity tasty, and it's just enjoyable, especially after a hard day's work. If you've liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All right, stay tuned for the next video.